outside. So
Yeah, Craig.
Yeah, we got
He's almost a sergeant. Great.
Up at the prison. It's all stuff.
yep. It's been an interesting 2 days. I just met the fire chief last night.
That's nice, man.
Yeah.
And
I think I'm gonna have
I'm talking about young guy.
Yep.
First time I've met him since I've been here.
Yeah.
And that went okay.
Guys to respond. Shit.
Got to put Craig and John in check them all.
Yeah.
Got the Reserve Academy coming up. And I want to make sure they take care of business.
Could be.
Yeah.
I'm not too worried about them being in the field. They're not worried about taking care of this, and then they're worried about the field. If the field needs us, we'll go out. This is nothing new.
I think they still one like this.
And our reserves are doing good. Getting ready. The academy starts April 2nd. We'll have everybody out here. About 13, 14. We got guys
Billy
doing
Frank, that's Billy Frank's
now.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the March 12, 2019 Tenino City Council meeting. Let the record show all council members are present with the exception of Council Member Vodovac. So we will have to excuse her. We have an agenda needing approval.
Move approval with the addition of, is Linda on here already?
Nope.
With the addition of approving Linda Godovac's just not being here, absence.
Second.
Thank you.
It's been moved and seconded to accept this agenda as presented with the addition of amended agenda with the addition of excusal of Councilmember Godovac. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have the minutes from the March 13th, 2019. March 13th. Yeah.
With the correction of the date.
Yeah. February 26th. It's been moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes as presented for the February 26th Tenino City Council meeting. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. That brings us to the consent calendar.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we move the consent calendar to the end because we haven't all seen it yet.
Okay. We'll bump the consent calendar to the end. That brings us to a motion to excuse the absence of Councilmember Godovac.
So move.
It's been moved and seconded to excuse the absence of Councilmember Linda Godovac. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. That brings us to presentations. We're supposed to have Ms. Nicole Fode, the new library manager. I do not see her in the audience, so we'll just keep moving. If she comes in, we'll jump back to that. That brings us to public comments. If there's anyone in the public that would like to provide comment, please come forward and do so at this time. You'll be given 3 minutes. State your name and address. Last chance, public comments. Okay, moving on. That brings us to new business. Okay, we're halfway done.
I know, and I'm not even on this.
New business. Chief Swain. When Chief Swain briefed the City Council regarding plans for a Reserve Academy, he alluded to the need for a funding mechanism that would meet the requirements of management for the tracking of expenses. To do so correctly, the city will need to establish a new enterprise-type fund as required by the Office of Financial Management and the State Auditor's Office. To do so will require a budget amendment, and the administration has prepared a proposed ordinance to address these issues. Proposed Ordinance 900 would establish the Reserve Academy Operating Fund, designated Fund 450 for the purpose of managing the financial obligations incident to operating a Reserve Academy. This fund, like all the city's funds, shall be maintained by the clerk treasurer in accordance with the budget and accounting and reporting system using the city's current financial management program, BIAS. For the first 3 training cycles only, the Tenino Police Department shall use existing appropriations to establish the budget. All such expenditures shall be made from the General Fund 001-521 Law Enforcement Program area of the current budget, and the clerk treasurer shall move such amounts from Fund 001 Program Area 521 to Fund 450 via interfund transfer procedures and be known as revenues in order to capture accurately the costs of the initial 3 iterations of the course, or until December 31st, 2020, whichever comes first. These amounts shall be the historic basis for the Chief of Police to develop budgets for subsequent iterations of the course beginning in January 2021. The Chief of Police shall be responsible for the formulation of the Reserve Academy Operating Fund according to the time established by law for the development of the city's annual municipal budget. It is recommended move to approve the first reading of Ordinance 900. Chief, do you have any?
I just, here for questions. Should
Okay.
be in.
Move approval of first reading.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve the first reading of Ordinance 900. This is an ordinance of the City of Tenino amending the budget for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2019. And it would be adopted by the City Council of the City of Washington, City of Tenino, Washington, approved by its mayor at a regularly scheduled open public meeting this 26th day of March 2019 at our second reading. It has been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Does anyone have any questions for the Chief of Police?
Thank you, Chief.
Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Thank you, sir. That brings us back to presentations. The Tenino branch of the Timberland Regional Library has a new branch manager, Miss Nicole Thode. Am I saying it right?
It is Thode, that's correct.
Come on up. Thode.
Thode, right.
Okay.
Well, hi, my name is Nicole Thode. I am, hi there. I'm so happy to be here. I am working as the manager of the Tumwater and Tenino branches. I have spent the last 8.5 years working at the Young Timberland Library, so I'm very committed to South County and this area. I've done a lot of outreach in Rainier and some in Bucota prior to this. And yeah, just really happy to be here. Do you have any questions for me?
What took you so long?
Yeah, right? Oddly enough, we had a Friends of the Library meeting today, and I had actually applied for the job in Tenino, was it 8 years ago? 9 years ago. But somebody else got it, so I'm like finally here, so I'm really happy.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm just gonna give a plug for Nicole. One of the things that I love best about Nicole is that she's extremely passionate about services to South County, and she's fully aware of the struggles and issues that we all have in South County, and she is passionate about assisting in those struggles that we all have, from Young to Rainier to Tenino to Bucota to Rochester. So I think that's very exciting, and it's exciting that we'll be able to build on someone who has that history and knowledge behind them.
Good to see you too, sir.
Nice to meet you.
I look forward to working with you and hearing what's happening in the library.
Thank you very much. Thank you for welcoming me. I look forward to working with you guys.
I like the calendar.
Samantha made
I like
that.
this presentation. It's nice.
It's really great. It's like 3 months, just right there, so you have it. Snapshot. Yeah.
All right, that brings us to resolutions. Before us, we have Resolution 2019-01, which would adopt the proposed City of Tenino City Official Handbook, replacing all previous editions of the City of Tenino Personnel Policy Manual. I think Dave wants to talk about this some more, so we might move it to the work session for next meeting. Would that?
You can, or I just have some things provided all these inputs to the staff before this was final, that came out, and the changes that I talked about were not included in this, so I'm gonna make some suggestions for changes for the council to consider. So.
And I just want to point out that in our process, we essentially transcribed the previous handbook, and we were not incorporating any changes at that point that were not mandated by legal updates or anything like that. So it wasn't that Dave's suggestions were ignored, it's the place for the suggestions are here.
Yeah,
You know, so it wasn't not incorporated because it wasn't valued. It's, you know, it's got to be done with you guys as a body.
I said I wanted to do some
So,
proposed amendments or.
so since we're here, we can either do it now or we can do it at work
It doesn't
session.
matter to me. Work set. It's gonna
It's a
take a
lot
little
of
bit of time.
stuff.
It's gonna
It is
take
a lot of
time.
stuff.
Yeah, it would be a full work session,
So
I
let's do the
think.
next work session.
Okay. Does that work for you, Dave?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I move that we table this to the next work session, which would be what date?
Not gonna be here on that
26th.
one. Town, you're going to.
Yeah, then let's
Move it to the
first one.
first one next
I don't
month.
think there's any hurry to get it done. I mean, we have them.
No.
Policy now,
Yeah.
so it'd have to be the one after the
That's
26th.
fine.
In a month.
We're looking up the date right now.
April 9th.
Okay. Move we table this to the work session for April 9th.
And everybody else bring notes too, you know, go through
Actually,
that
I had a
thing.
bunch of notes, but I can't think of which one that I used.
I thought we were having a work session. That's what I thought we had talked about.
Oh, we pulled fast one on you.
A second to move it to whatever.
The first meeting of next month.
For the work session.
Yep. Okay. That brings us to ordinance 897, which would allow the use of ATVs on city streets. This is the second reading. We recommend we move to approve the second reading and adoption of ordinance 897, authorizing the use of ATVs on city streets in the city of Tenino.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve the second reading and adoption of ordinance 897. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. That brings us to reports. Chamber of Commerce, Economic Development Council, VCB, Fire District, Library. Is there a library report?
Got a new,
So I'm new. Ooh, I can say that we're going to have an absolutely wonderful program that I've been working on in May that you'll see in there. It's a foster care forum where you invited Denise Mino to join, as well as several organizations, because most people are not aware that Washington State is currently shipping our children to other states for beds.
Oh, yeah.
And it's huge. We are in desperate need, and so we're going to have 3 or 4 different organizations, as well as our local resident. Although her story is unique, not everyone always ends up adopting their foster children. She does have another beautiful picture to paint and add to. And so I'm very excited about hosting that forum. It's a forum in a way where you could just learn information. It's not meant to be pushy, like, oh, you have to be a foster parent. It's really meant to learn how you can help, in what ways you can help, and if you're interested in being a foster parent, here are the resources you need. Because there's also going to be some organizations that are there that just offer services to foster children, so you might be able to learn how you can help the foster children in the state of Washington. So that's my big push for, you know, if you're interested or know anyone that's interested, or if you ever thought about it or kicked the idea around and you want more information, to come on down in May and learn more.
So that one that you mentioned about, was it shipping kids out of the state?
Mm-hmm.
Can you elaborate just a little bit on that? Because I want to know if it's the same one that I've heard.
Elaborate. I don't know if I can elaborate more. There's not enough beds. We don't have enough registered foster parents, and so as a person who works for the foster agency, when they have to make the choice of removing a child from a home, it's their job to find a bed, and sometimes those beds are not available. Youth are left sleeping on couches in offices or in hotel rooms. And then sometimes the only way to find them a bed or a permanent residence for a short length of time is to ship them out of state. And of course, that's not necessarily the goal of protecting a child. It's to keep them still connected with their community, with their schools, with their friends, the best way they can. But if there's not a safe place for them to be, then they end up shipped. In the states that receive most of our foster kids are Idaho, California, and I think some of them are going to Texas. So it's pretty amazing, let alone having to see children that have been removed from maybe a very unfortunate circumstance and they end up sleeping on an office couch for 3 or 4 weeks. So I'm kind of passionate about it. I like kids. I think everyone deserves a safe place to put their head, and so I want to encourage people to contribute to their community by helping the youth in their community. Doing anything they can to do that, and so that's why I've kind of put together this forum. And I also think that as a mother of a child that's not her birth child, I really respect Denise, for choosing to be a foster parent, and just think it's a blessing that it ended up that she ended up adopting him. But it's a really beautiful story. It's not common, I recognize that. It's actually very rare, but it is a beautiful story, and I'd like that to be shared too. So, what does it say in there? I think it's May 11th. I don't have it memorized in my head. It's on a Saturday.
May 11th.
May 11th.
From 12 to 2.
12 to 2.
12 to 2? Yes, thank you.
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks, Serena.
Thank you.
Civil Service Commission. Planning Commission. Facade improvement, Linda's not here. Finance Committee. Chief of Police.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and distinguished council. Robert Swain, your chief of
I
police.
think you turned it off.
Are you asking for money to distinguish tonight?
Yeah. Well, you never know. That subject always could come up. Couple of things. Our National Night Out, which will be August 6th, I believe, has been approved. Our application's been accepted, and so we are going to be part of that whole celebration throughout the country. The big thing with that is, of course, is at a certain time that evening, with the community present, all emergency equipment gets turned on except the sirens. And it's done at that time throughout the entire country, and it's in response to those that have given the ultimate sacrifice in both the fire and police service. So we're pretty excited. It's really coming together. We've got a bounce house and a couple of clowns that are going to come by and do that with the kids. You know, so we're pretty excited to it'll be the first time in a long time, I guess, that Tenino's been a part of that. So we're excited about that. Reserve Academy's really coming together. It's morphing into something a lot larger than what I initially had planned on. We thought 12 would be a good number. It turns out that we're getting inquiries all over the state, to include as far away as Yakima, that want to send reserves to our academy. So at this point, I don't have an exact number, but I think we're going to surpass 12 pretty easily and move forward. We can do up to 20 is what we figured. We cut the glass off if we get to that. So pretty exciting news for us, and I'm meeting with the instructors and stuff for the academy here, hopefully within the next 2 weeks, and get everybody to know each other and meet. So looking at probably 20 to 25 instructors throughout the course. Yeah, different instructors from different agencies, to include the prosecutor's office. We've got the fire department coming in to teach CPR, and we've got firearms, defensive tactics, driving, So there's a lot of things that are gonna be happening with that. The last thing I have is, when I first got here, I asked where we were getting our information from in regards to if you needed to do follow-up investigation or just figure out who you needed to go and arrest. And it turns out that we were limited to only the information that's within our current records management system, which is comprised of Yelm, Lacey, Tumwater, and Olympia, and us. The sheriff, which has all of that information in the jail, does not share with us because it's not on the same program that we are. So I did some checking, and I wanted to just make council aware that I'm trying to work it out with the sheriff right now. Everything being everything, there's charges for services, but apparently there is a way for us to be able to get that information through our computers, even out in the cars. And so I'm looking into doing that, and hopefully doing it and not being charged for it. But we'll see. The sheriff and I, like I said, are in discussion about giving Tenino such a small agency.
Base it on insured values.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm not going there with you there, Mr. Mayor. But you know, the bottom line is I just think it really puts us at a disadvantage with other agencies that we can't have this information from suspects that are booked into the Thurston County Jail, which is thousands of people, you know, per year, and we don't have access to that information to include whether or not we could follow up with lab work if we needed it. None of that has been available to the city of Tenino for, I don't know, however long. Wayne, you might know more than me, but the bottom line is that's some very good information for us to be able to have access to. So, just wanted to finish with that. Any questions for me? I'm happy to answer. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Director of Public Works.
Who's that guy that's 9 hat?
Yeah.
Good evening.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Just had a moment of clarity in my head. I had to.
Yeah, do you have that done
say
right?
it before I forgot it.
Mr. Mayor, I think we should reset this clock.
Reset it? No, it's already, I'm already halfway through. Good evening. Hey, I don't know if it was on the agenda a couple, I think it was 2 months ago about the water report, but we canceled that night because of snow. I'm not sure if you guys had a chance to look at that or anything else. I brought copies tonight if you want to look at that.
You got this switch right now.
Yes, please. John, you want one? I think, yeah, I think it was on there. So as you can see that we did produce almost 67 million gallons of water last year. The year before was substantial higher. We had a pretty substantial water leak up by the wells, or not the wells, but the reservoirs. That took us a while to find. If you don't know, that water line goes directly up Morningside Drive, and it's right through the timber and whatnot. But that's kind of where the leak was, so it took us a long time to find that one.
And it's huge.
It was huge.
That's a
It was an
big-
8-inch
that's a big
line
pipe.
that was, yeah.
Yeah,
It
big
was
pipe.
big pipe. So that's why, you know, the difference in 2017 and 18 are so dramatic. But, which I think we're doing pretty good. I still like to get a little better. If you noticed on page 2, the difference between produced and sold, we need to get that number a little bit better. It could be a number of things. Meters, people actually using water that's not metered, fire hydrants, stuff like that.
Smaller leaks could be.
The smaller leaks too, that we don't know about. Those are hard to detect.
Like the one with the rock that got
Exactly, right. We had a rock, what, was it a couple of years ago it was?
last year.
Last year it was, and it was probably a pretty good sized rock, but it was been leaking so long that it almost bored a hole through that rock. And we would have never known it until it started showing its ugly face, and then we went and fixed it. But we have a lot of those little ones. We have some old lines in town that, you know, it's hard to detect if they're leaking or not, but we're doing the best we can, but we have got that number down quite a bit. But our goal is to get it down even more. Page 3, that's the water usage, same, it shows pretty much the same thing. The biggest thing I think is what we need to do is on page, second page, actually the last page, our water rights. The city has 87, almost 88 million gallons per year that we are allotted. So we are under that quite a bit. It comes out to, gives us about 290 ERUs, and that's what we're looking at. That's a pretty good number, so it would be nice to have a little more ERUs for development reasons and so forth. There is some plans in the work I have for getting that number a little bit better, not using that water to irrigate maybe, well water, maybe using the reclaimed water. There's ways to drop that number down and give us more ERUs. But I have something I am working on to get that down, so, or get more ERUs. Yeah, go ahead.
And that also plays into trying to find our water loss, right, too?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All that water can be used if we can detect where it is.
Exactly.
So it's worthwhile, because water rights are very expensive.
It's very expensive, right.
Investing a little bit in trying to find leaks is a lot more effective.
A lot more
than buying
effective.
water.
Right, exactly. Where was the percentages, water loss, we're at 8.2%, and like I said a couple years ago, I think it was 10% is when they start getting involved, trying to figure out why we were losing so much water. So we're below, but we want that 8.2% to be even lower. So we're getting there, but it's going to take a little bit. But that starts with meters. So it goes on the subject of meters.
Which is it's on constantly, the waterfall.
That's fed from the.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Stupid.
It's a natural
No.
spring.
Yeah, it's a natural. That's the river that comes through there.
That's right, very good.
Yeah.
Coming to creek, it's coming.
It's all in the water.
Yeah. So on the meter part of it, those meters that were bought, I think 12 years ago, the master meters, the radio reads we have, those are in a cycle now. They're all starting to die. So now we're going to have to look at something new. I have some guys giving us some proposals on different meters and whatnot. But, because there was, I think you remember a conversation I had about how we had a refund for some meters that they recalled. It's about 300 meters. So instead of getting the old style meters, why wouldn't we go towards the different style and newer style that's easier to read? And so that's where I'm going with that. Hopefully they come back and it's not a huge amount of dollars to change out the meter system, because you have to get a new reading. So it's just, there's quite a bit to it. But when I get that stuff back, I'll give it to you guys to look at. So far. If you did know I was coming in town, we put the new sign up. Welcome to Tenino.
It's a nice sign.
Nice sign. We are gonna put a little 4x4 with the sister city. Remember that one will get put back there too.
Where you were the only one able to say the name.
Yeah, I wasn't even gonna try it, yeah. We are working on replacing the media in the upper well. We have 4 tanks up there that we are working on right now, replacing media, so that well shut down. It should be back on hopefully by Thursday. We're cleaning the MBR tank 1 out at the wastewater treatment plant. We're gonna have to do that more often. Our filters are coming to the end of their lives also.
If you haven't had a tour of the treatment plant, or you haven't been there in a while, when they do this, it is interesting.
Yeah.
But when they do this clean out process, it's a good time to go. So, if you would like to go out there and check it out, let Troy know, or if anybody else hasn't been out there when they're doing this,
Yeah.
it's a good chance.
Yeah, just let me know, I'll take you out there, we'll walk through and I can explain it to you and how things work, and it's actually really cool. Yeah, I mean,
So much
yeah,
sense.
you'd be amazed what the brown liquid in clear water comes out of it. It's really cool. I wouldn't drink it, but I'm just saying, you could if you wanted to, but,
They're doing it someplace, I saw.
Yeah.
Water storage.
Uh-huh. right.
So you can have me a Madigan.
Something,
There was a place outside of Portland that they got it, the Academy of Deer out of it with the reclaimed water.
Maybe we can't do that.
Reclaimed beer.
No, not into it. Not at all. We are a little more than halfway done with the street signs. Hopefully, we got another little order coming in right now, so we'll be getting there. I'm not sure if we're gonna make the whole year, all the signs this year, but 3/4 of them will be done. We cleaned up around the memorial wall the other day. Actually, that wall looks really good being completed, and as soon as we get the grass going and everything else, it'll look really good. We did open the bathrooms March 1st. I am gonna talk to the chief, I haven't had a chance to yet, maybe tomorrow, about the police officers maybe locking the bathrooms at night. We've already been open since the beginning of March, and we've already been vandalized down in the concession stand bathrooms. So, I think it would be in our best interest to lock that at dusk or something. So, just to keep away from, I don't know who it is, but whatever. It's frustrating to have something that was vandalized. What else? Talked about that. I got the permit for the pool. Yeah, so we can open the pool. But that's about it. That's all I got, unless you guys got something for me.
I did hear a complaint or saw someplace about the road over by the Quick Mart, by the police department. Has anybody looked at that or responded to them? How the road is right? What's the name of that street there?
McClellan?
McClellan.
Was it on McClellan or was it by the store?
Right there by the store.
Yeah, we fixed that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's a big one, yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't been over there since I saw it, but,
Yeah, I saw the ad on Facebook,
Yeah.
3 to 4 bedroom, 3 bath, pothole for rent.
I think they were also, I should probably talk about that a little bit too. They did their water tap, cut across the road and dug through the road, and I think that's what they're talking about. So they actually filled that back in. So I think that's probably what the complaint was, but I didn't see a complaint for
I don't think
potholes.
there's a formal complaint.
Yeah, I haven't seen nothing like that come through, so, but it could have been the workers over there doing tying the water in. Yeah, I think that's it. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yep.
City planner, city attorney, clerk treasurer.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I don't have an official report for you tonight. Last week was rather exciting around here. In addition to the frou-for-all with the district, Timberland Bank decided to change its banking software, and it's caused a number of issues here at the city, and it's not limited to us. These are the city of Rainier was just up in arms, and I mean anybody that uses Timberland had a not pleasant week last week. I had planned to be at the WMCA annual conference this week. Didn't go. It's more important to have been here. I don't think we'll lose a lot from not going, but I was looking forward to bring some of that information back from the vendors. So I'll have to update you with the facts and figures about the budget. With respect to the grants, we are going to finalize the 2019 Port of Olympia Small City Economic Fund. We're going to ask them for another $10,000 to go to the bike kiosk that we have the plans for, and that Troy is socializing with the contractors. We're going to use the small works roster process, so as soon as he tells me to go, we'll get that contract out there and get that underway. The CDBG grant for this year is coming up. Our request is due on the 14th. The mayor is working that. It's very close to finalization. We'll have no problems submitting that.
You're confusing
Yeah.
the two process, it doesn't matter. The
They
Port
want
Olympia
it
thing
by-
is due on the 14th. The CDBG thing is the 28th.
You're correct. I am confusing that.
It's okay.
Sorry about that. So we have a couple of weeks left on the CDBG, but we've got a good plan for that. And the only other one that's hanging fire is the Nota Heritage Grant. I closed that out. So that's it. We're pretty close to complete on this projects we had going. We're fixing to start the next round. The invitation to bid for the quarry pool renovation project closes on Monday the 18th. We'll open that up. I currently have no packages, but we think we're going to get 2 responses, one from a California outfit, and I had an inquiry from an outfit back in New York that specializes in water parks, so we'll see what happens. Any of your questions, that's my report.
Moving along, be that.
Yeah, I got it. They're having their open mic this Thursday again at the coffee company, Western Coffee Company, from 3:30 to 5:30.
Okay. CIP.
We did not have a meeting this month, but we're still in the process of accepting applications from interested parties for CIP money for this next year, to the tune of about $200,000.
Thank you. Solid Waste Advisory Board.
We did have a meeting. The big topic there again is the whole issue of China and other countries not accepting waste. We've been asked by the state to modify there's a list of required materials that have to be recycled, and the state has asked us to review that and basically eliminates all recyclables except for the most common plastics, like the heavy plastics, the 1 and 2s that everybody recycles in paper. All other things on that list almost are now going to be not required to be recycled and most likely go into the dump, which is insane.
That stuff's going to dump anyway.
Well, it has been some places because there isn't a market for it. With the changes, there's no market, so we're going to be recycling. You may see in the near future some significant shifts on the recycling program here and around the country, because it's not just us, it's all over. This is happening, so it's going to be an interesting process. But yeah, that's why I advocate for local ways to take care of this stuff, because when you depend on a country that's clear across the sea to take your materials, you're up to their whatever they decide they want to do. You have no control. So anyway, that's the big thing in solid waste.
That's exciting.
Yeah, that is.
TCOM 911, Tenino School Board,
Nothing to report.
TRPC.
We have a meeting coming up. We haven't had one since our last.
Okay.
I can't think of it. It is.
Steady.
That's this Friday.
Yeah.
Last month got pushed back to Friday,
TPB.
tomorrow morning.
All right. Well, let's do the consent calendar. We have a consent. It's been moved. Do I hear a second? Second to approve the consent calendar for February 27, 2019 through March 12, 2019. Payroll EFTs in the amount of $52,814.68. Claims checks number 28048 through 28094 in the amount of $46,953.56. For a grand total of $99,768.24, along with liquor and cannabis license application for Los Compadres. I thought there was another one too.
Yeah, there's a new one for.
The Herbal and the Herbal Center.
Correct.
Is there any discussion?
Oh, once again, they're both up on their. I think you check every time, but they're up on all their B&O taxes and all that kind of stuff. Are we aware who they are? Current on their B&O taxes.
Oh, yeah. The herbal center's not for the current operation, it's for the new processing facility. And Los Compadres is current with their business licenses.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. That brings us to public comment period number 2. If there is anyone in the audience that would like to provide public comment, please come forward and do so at this time. You'll be given 3 minutes. State your name and address. Again, public comment period number 2. Going once, going twice, gone. Notice is hereby given that TRPC, the Thurston Regional Planning Commission, invites all community members and stakeholders to review and submit comments on updates to the agency's public participation plan. Comments should be emailed to Vina Tabbut, TABBUTV, at trpc.org, or mailed to Thurston Regional Planning Council, Suite A, 2424 Heritage Court Southwest, Olympia, Washington, 98502.
Can I add on to that just
Yes,
a
sir.
little bit so people understand? You can add on if you have some, I'm not saying something. So the TRPC has a plan when there's something going on, how they get that out to the public. So they just want to review that, and if there's anything we can do better or needs to be changed. So they're just asking public comment and how they think that's best accomplished when some of these issues come up.
I'd like to stress, and since we're on tape here, this is rather important. Every year we sit at these tables and the staff gets real excited that we have 1,500 participants. Look at the population of Thurston County. Only 1,500 people are putting their 2 cents worth and then affecting everybody else in the county. If you're watching this, please take a look at this, answer the questions that are on there, put your 2 cents worth in there. Let's see if we can't get up to at least 5,000 people this year. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Miss Tina Torfin, president of the AUSA Lacey Subchapter, is organizing a civic leader tour of the Ghost Brigade, the Army's 1st Brigade, 2nd Infantry Division at JBLM. Details are sketchy at the moment, but she has identified either the last week in April or the first week in May for the event. She led a similar event last year at McCord Field that O'Callahan attended and has allocated no fewer than 2 seats for Tenino. If interested, please contact the clerk treasurer.
My nephew's there.
Okay, and he will make coordination for your attendance once details have been finalized. So we've got John down?
Yes.
Okay. If anyone else is interested, let us know. Meeting adjourned.
Oh, what, no announcements?
No.
That was so good.
No, I have some.
Oh,
Too late.
save it for next time.
Here we go.
Now that they'll bring out Thursday, not Saturday.
So, Casey pitched. Yeah, so.
You may have to do a welfare check on Leslie Land.
Uh-oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, he hasn't
He
been
wasn't
here.
here.
Oh,
Yeah,
he's like always here.
yeah, yeah. So, would you go to?
Tell the police chief. What the heck does that mean, Will?
Yeah, it was first game.
Tell the police chief.
I think there was a lot of jitters.
Yeah.
Girls.
Yeah.
But I did.
Nobody around here does that.
No, I'm not, it's my job, you know what I do? I tell him.
It's out, it's plays.
I'll forget.
I've been mayor.
I know, but I'm wondering.
I was just gonna say, we
I mean,
still
that's-
have a quorum.
Yeah, that's the,
We still have a quorum, and the procedure is that the members present will elect a
Gel on the other a little bit, but
temporary pro tem.
that's a young team.
It always
I
does.
think,
We can continue on. Alternatively, you could poll the
Yeah, no, I
council,
have
and
one.
we could do a special order of adjournment.
in a
Is
couple
the
of years.
is the senior the redhead from the basketball team?
No,
For the first meeting, anyway.
and she's not bad, but
Do we have anything important besides,
you know, so with being so young and then coming in like even next year, the year before, they're gonna be, you know, if they can get the girls in the outfield catching puck.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah, and understanding the game, and it's still good today, like, there was 2 outs. Yeah, drew on second.
You're right.
Just a little,
Okay.
they went halfway, so I was low. Oh, coming down. Yeah. This kid, you know, she should've been home, we really ended up dropping it, so she only had 3 bases. Those are the things that need to be drilled into the head.
Those are easily worked out.
They are, yeah.
They really are.
Yep.
For a while.
So he can have his.
Alright, I'll see you tomorrow.
Yep.
Okay. Anyway, I was thinking for the fire drill,
Yeah.
that we do kind of like a photo run from young to people or from here to there.
That would be fun.
With different stations along the way.
Yeah.
You
got anything, Doc?
The other thing is,
I saw that my paper's on the desk. For filing in the personnel file, got it? That would be fun. I like the poker run, okay? Yeah.
nationally 1%. And that 1% because places like Miami, they've changed, they don't call them boardwalks anymore.
Yeah.
They call them trails. They do that
Oh,
because they can get money to fix the boardwalk.
Getting water for free.
See you guys later.
There was a meter, but it was,
Oh,
Have a good night.
it wasn't being
you
read.
wanna talk about habitat?
I mean, the